Hi guys, and welcome back to Movies That Matter with the Viking. And Ray Fisher had a lot to say on his Twitter the other day regarding Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder. I don't praise Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder for simply putting me in Justice League. I praise them for empowering me, a black man with no film credits to his name, with a seat at the creative table, and input on the framing of the stones before there was even a script. Hashtag bored life. And look, so many people have so many good things to say about Zack Snyder. I've never seen anyone that has bad mouth, and people in the media have, people who are not fans of his have, but nobody who has ever worked on a set or met Zack Snyder has ever said anything bad towards him. And Ray Fisher continues that trend. But look, a lot of things going on in the world right now with terrible treatment of black lives, and people are standing up for what's right, and I'm a big fan of that. People telling other people where they're wrong and how much of an impact this is having on other people's lives. Because people can be mean, people can be hurtful, and sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the way that you were brought up. But I'm glad that Ray Fisher had some positivity to bring to what's happening. He's a black man working in Hollywood, and he's able to get work with such a huge director like Zack Snyder, who's done mega films. And Ray Fisher, I never heard of him before he appeared in Batman vs Superman. I don't even think I knew his name, even after I seen Batman vs Superman. Then I've seen him in things like True Detective Season 3, which I thought he was very good in. But I was interested to see his portrayal of Cyborg in Zack Snyder's Justice League back in 2017, especially the way that Zack Snyder himself has talked about the character. And then, of course, we got a version that wasn't Ray Fisher's version, it wasn't Chris Terrio's version, it wasn't Zack Snyder's version of the character. And that's the kind of image that we have in our head. But thank God that Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming next year, and we finally get to see Ray Fisher's true portrayal and version of that character. I'm not saying he did a bad job in 2017 Justice League, but I actually think he was probably the best part of that film. And that's not even his the character that he wanted to play. So that shows the talent, that shows how much he can do with a role, the way he's able to make that version of Cyborg likable. And he did it very well in 2017, I thought, but I'm sure with the better script that Chris Terrio wrote with Zack Snyder and Ray Fisher getting to do what he wants to do, we're in for a very special treat for Cyborg next year, and I can't wait. But he said, for simply putting me in Justice League, and he's so grateful for this opportunity, and he talks so highly of Zack Snyder. You know, a black man, and all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, he's playing a black superhero. He really is. And earlier this year, he should have had his solo film, you know. And that, I think it's a very interesting thing that could happen in the future. More of Ray Fisher, a black man playing a black superhero, and it's just, you can empower so many people. Just look what Black Panther has done for people, Blade as well back in the 90s. So there is a big scope of people who really admire a black superhero, and I don't think it's done enough in today's world, especially with the success and profile of comic book films. But I also think it's very interesting that he talks about him having a say at the creative table. That's unheard of. This is really his first role, an unknown actor with no high status, no draw. He's being sat down with Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio and having say on his character. I find that very cool, and that shows how much confidence I always think Zack Snyder's casting is spot on. It really is. Look at Watchmen, then Batman vs Superman. He really knows how to cast a team together for a film. And I'm sure Ray Fisher, just like Ezra Miller, will do a great job when they get to tell their real versions of the character. But Zack himself had a reply to this on Vero and on Twitter. He said two different things, and look, you can see there's so much love there between the two of them, and it's so good to see this positivity. Zack said, "The true heart of my movie, hashtag Borg life." And Zack has said countless times that Ray Fisher, Cyborg, is the heart of Justice League. It really is his story. There's so much potential to be told there with his mother dying, his father dying in the film, and that kind of inner turmoil of becoming Cyborg, losing his humanity. I've talked about it before. It's such an interesting, unique concept in the comic book genre. Then on Twitter he had to say, "You, Ray, are the heart of my movie." So 2021 is going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to see the true portrayal of these characters. We've seen how Jason Momoa wants to play Aquaman in his film. We've seen how Gal Gadot wants to play Wonder Woman. We've seen how Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, how they wanted to, the way they played their characters in their own films. But now we get to see how Ray Fisher wants to play his character, how Ezra Miller wants to play his character. So it has me excited, interested, and I just love that. I love that the love is being spread by Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder, especially in such tough times for people that's living in America, especially. And Zack Snyder, I'm sure over the next few months will share new images. We'll kind of not probably, he'll probably try and keep it a little bit of a mystery. He probably won't share as much as he was before, but I think he'll get us teased up. He's really good. He's one of those great directors that can get you excited with a movie coming up. I'm sure there's a trailer coming very soon. I'm sure that he will hint at more stuff. He always replies to people on Vero as well. So just enjoy it. The film is coming, so just enjoy this process. Get your hype back and enjoy the journey. And now another man who is fighting for his film to come out is David Ayer, and he's been very vocal, more vocal than before, and especially with Zack Snyder's Justice League being announced, he has been very talkative online towards his film, his cut, his real version of it, and he says it wouldn't take much to actually finish the film. But he reveals this new image of Jared Leto's Joker, and this image is in black and white, kind of symbolizing and looking at the way Zack Snyder used to release his stills on Vero. And look, it's a new look at Ayer's Suicide Squad, which appears to be an unseen scene, maybe even changing the ending that we got in 2016. And remember the ending when the League, or the Squad I should say, they defeated Enchantress, and they did well, and then they're all put back in prison then straight away, but they get their kind of rewards. Harley gets her cappuccino machine, and Deadshot gets to visit his daughter. I think Killer Croc gets a flat screen TV, so they all got rewards, and of course a sequel was probably in mind with them coming together again. But of course James Gunn is doing that in the Suicide Squad with characters like Amanda Waller, Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag and Harley Quinn all coming back with some new characters like John Cena and Idris Elba. That's exciting. I can't wait to see that film. I think if Gunn can capture what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but make it kind of more grittier, more kind of pushing the edge, it might be an R-rated film. We're not too sure yet, but I think he can do a good job. People are giving him a lot of shit, but I will not give my comments until I see a trailer, and then of course until I see the actual film. But this image here, we all remember the ending where Joker appears to break into the prison and break Harley Quinn out. He was like, I've got a beer rug waiting for you at home or something like that, and then they hug and the Joker is kind of smiling. But this seems to be very different because we can see Jared Leto's Joker here, and he's shouting or roaring. I don't know exactly what he's saying, but this is definitely not the scene that we seen in the theatrical cut in 2016. It appears to be a new scene. Now we know that Warner Brothers thought that David Ayer's Suicide Squad was too dark to be released in the format that they were going to do so. So they made him go back and reshot a lot of scenes. And the other day he also said that scene, that final scene in the first trailer, where Joker says, I'm going to hurt you, really. I'm not going to kill you. Sorry, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you really, really bad. And that was changed. They went back and had to reshot that. So how much of the Joker scenes in the 2016 version were reshot? Because Jared Leto, of course, has been very vocal in the past about they cut so much of his scenes out. I know David Ayer is admitting that Jared Leto's Joker was hard done by. He really was. And it's unfair to see this Oscar-winning actor put so much into a character, an iconic character like the Joker, following great names like Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson and Cesar Ramon. It really is. It's hard to kind of look at for an actor to be kind of treated in that way. But I hope in the future we get to see the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. But I also think that Zack Snyder's Justice League needs to be a big success for that to happen. HBO Max, Warner Media are going to throw money away until they start seeing something come back. So us as fans, we need to get so much hype around Zack Snyder's Justice League when it's coming out. We need to watch it, we need to support it as best we can, and hope that there is enough of income for Warner Brothers, for HBO Max, that they want to go forward with these characters, this version of this world, this Snyderverse per se, and then we will get to see #release the Ayer cut come to light. But There's so much of this film that we haven't seen. And David Ayer said, don't worry about the runtime, it's just about how the story is told. And Jared Leto's Joker, I kind of have a feeling that we missed out on something very special. I think he was very, very hard done by, and in the future, I definitely want to see him redeemed in the character, because he gets a lot of shit. David Ayer gets a lot of shit, but I want them people to be proved wrong. I really, really do. Just like the people who have said that Joss Whedon saved Justice League, that Joss Whedon made a better film than Zack Snyder could, which is all BS. In 2021, they will all be put to shame, and we will be there, not gloating, but a big smile on our face, enjoying the film. Also, guys, don't forget that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in Batman vs Superman. Don't forget that he's Thomas Wayne. And if they end up doing the Flashpoint storyline, we could definitely be seeing him come back to play the character. Back in December, he showed an image of himself in the comedian mask. Of course, that was directed by Zack Snyder as well, and said here's to a masked return in 2020. So if they end up doing the Flashpoint film, and if that links up kind of to what happens in Zack Snyder's Justice League with Flash going back in time, then could we see Jeffrey Dean Morgan come back? Well, look, he wasn't just cast as Thomas Wayne for the sake of it happening, for Zack Snyder doing him a favour. No, Zack Snyder had in mind for the Flashpoint film, for Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and of course Lauren Cohen, who plays Maggie on The Walking Dead. She was the mother. So if you're a fan of the comics, of the storylines, kind of what happens is Flashpoint happens, and it kind of changes things. So Bruce is not the one who survived in the alleyway. Bruce died, and this turns Thomas Wayne into Batman, a very hardcore, brutal Batman, and Martha into the Joker. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to see a full-length version of this in the Flashpoint film, but we could see a glimpse of it, a little small snippet of it, of Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the bat suit with Lauren Cohen as the Joker, which would be pretty cool and interesting to see, and Bruce being the one who is dead, and Flash seeing that while he goes back in time or changes the timeline. So I just want people to remember that there is a possibility this could happen in the future. And with the Flashpoint paradox, anything can happen in a Flash movie if they end up using it. And there was also talks of Ray Fisher coming and being in that film, so who knows who could appear in this film, and I would love nothing more than for even just 10 seconds see Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the Batman suit. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the love being spread by Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder. Very refreshing in the world that we live in now. Also, what do you think of that image that David Ayer showed of the Joker? I can't wait to see Jared Leto's Joker. And also, are you looking forward to seeing if Jeffrey Dean Morgan will ever don the cape? And do you think he will be a good Batman, or will he look a little bit off? As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Engage with me. That's what we love doing. We love talking about movies. Follow all my socials. You'll find that in the description. And as always, guys, stay positive.